Welcome to Cat Recaps, where I help you catch up on the latest episodes of Skeem Saam. 24th September 2025. Tabo stands up and says, "Hey, you'll do no such thing, okay? We won't go down because you can't secure a deal." Kwaito tells Cat, "Brother, look, don't listen to him." But Cat asks, "You pay bribes to secure deals?" Tabo fires back, "Cat, you think you're so naive? You think you can get a tender without making a deal?" Kwaito tries to intervene, saying, "Brother, stop it. Look, don't listen to him." And Tabo explains that he tried to keep Cat out of shady deals, with Kwaito adding that he was threatened about his family. Tabo dismisses this, saying, "Kwaito, my friend, I really don't care." So Cat responds, "This must come out. Tabo, why are you being so stubborn?" Kwaito asks why Tabo didn't listen to warnings and acts like a kid, but Tabo insists they have families to support. Cat says he has a family too and declares, "I think I've heard enough. Please leave. Forget it." Then calls security. When Tabo argues about reputations, Cat says, "You're kicking out your friends? Really?" and adds that he's disappointed, ordering them out. Security escorts them away as Kwaito sighs, "Kai." Meanwhile, things start to heat up between Paxton and his dad. Inside, Paxton is on the phone when his dad comes in dancing. Paxton says, "What?" Then he asks Shay, "Am I ever going to win?" He laughs and tells her, "Wait, let me call you back," and ends the call saying, "I have something to sort out. Cheers." After Paxton hangs up, his dad stops dancing and says, "It was that girl Shay, wasn't it?" He asks what she wants from Paxton, pointing out that with all the schools in Johannesburg, she chose to come to Turf, and he doesn't know why. He adds, "It's clear that she wants to get back together with you," and says that will mess up Paxton's schoolwork since grade 11 is important. Back at the shop, a Heritage Day celebration sets the scene. Customers in colorful dresses exchange orange juice while wishing each other happy Heritage Day. And Letetswe calls over his cousin to ask, "Today, people are braaiing and going places. What's our plan?" His cousin suggests they chill and play pool. But when Alfred walks in, he insists that's not what Heritage Day is for, arguing that mindset is why culture is being lost. Letetswe's cousin points out it's a holiday to relax, but Alfred sits down and explains, a man can now legally take his wife's surname after marriage, shocking Letetswe, who says, "Wait, what?" His cousin mentions hearing about it online, but Alfred fumes that their ancestors are turning in their graves and urges them to attend the chief's event at the stadium. When the cousin asks if there's free food, Letetswe teases him for always thinking about it, and Alfred confirms it's free food, which excites the cousin, who cheers, "Free food, cuz? It's free food." The tension from Cat's office carries over to Tabo's home. Tabo enters the room and knocks on the door, saying to Kwaito, "Brother, I barely slept a wink." Kwaito opens the door and asks, "Did you try to call him?" Tabo replies, "Yes, but he won't take my calls." And Kwaito looks concerned, saying, "Yours?" Tabo confirms, "Yes, he won't take mine either." Kwaito gestures and explains, "Cat, that I drove all the way to Coco Manisha's house and he refused to open the door." Tabo responds, "It's Bra Boyki who's at fault here. Why did he take that tender away from Kati?" But Kwaito warns, "We should be concerned about ourselves. If Cat reports Bra Boyki, we'll be in trouble," leading Tabo to retort, "You should have thought about that before getting us into this mess." Just then, Mantuli enters and asks, "What's all this noise about?" Tabo says, "Nothing, Mama," but Mantuli insists, "I heard you mention Cat's name." Kwaito chimes in, "So is it true that he wants to do business with Salamana?" Mantuli requests, "With all due respect, can we have some space?" Which makes Tabo defensive as he says, "Really? Space? In whose house?" Mantuli pleads, "Please, don't." But Tabo interrupts, "This is my house. No one will tell me they need space here." Clement enters and shouts, "Go ask for space in your own house. And now, why are you fighting?" Mantuli explains she wants to return to Joburg because everyone is toxic and always fighting. And Clement agrees, adding saying that he hates living there due to the lack of privacy. Later, in the shop, Letetswe's cousin starts by saying, "Hey guys, what's up?" And Letetswe replies, "Not much, just hanging out," while Paxton asks, "So how's everything going?" leading to casual chat. The cousin then remarks, "That doesn't look like the face of a guy who's dating a hot girl," prompting Letetswe to ask, "What do you mean?" and Paxton to deny it with, "Who said Shay and I were dating?" Letetswe insists, "You're single, and I saw how you looked at her." But Paxton brings up his wheelchair, saying, "What girl would date a guy in a wheelchair?" and adding, "I won't be able to fulfill some of her expectations," which Letetswe questions with, "Such as?" before Paxton cuts in with, "No, no, no." As the discussion continues, Letetswe's phone rings and he says, "It's my mom, sorry," before leaving. The cousin suggests maybe we can go to that Heritage Day event, but Paxton declines with, "No thanks, I'm not in the mood," and they all exchange goodbyes like, "See you later," as the scene ends. Meanwhile, Kawezi comes into the office where Encosi is sitting at his desk, handing him a coffee. They briefly discuss a potential helicopter sale, with both expressing distrust of the sellers. Encosi shares that regulatory contacts are happy with his plans to include tracking in the security industry. Kawezi suggests testing helicopters from 2 sellers before deciding. The conversation shifts to flying, where they reminisce about their forgotten dreams of becoming pilots and tentatively agree to help each other realize them. However, Kawezi steers the topic back to Peterson, and Encosi confidently assures her that his associates have silenced a witness cleanly, insisting Peterson will find nothing, no matter how hard he digs. Over at the restaurant, tensions flare at the counter. The waiter aggressively questions Mapitsi about event bonuses, leading Kat to intervene. Kat then informs Mapitsi he arranged for Fancy to take photos with her at the municipal office. Mapitsi reveals she lost the tender, shocking Kat. At a table, she accuses Bra Boyki of demanding a bribe to help Kat steal council money. When Mapitsi threatens to report it on Beryl FM, Kat warns that Tabo and Kwaito would be implicated too, as Bra Boyki involved them. Mapitsi concludes that Kat is a corruption beneficiary who might face arrest, leaving him stunned by the realization. In a separate room, Mantuli confronts Charlie in expressing distress about money issues with Salamina present. Charlie reads a cryptic, emotional passage from his notebook, causing Mantuli to react with disbelief and argue fiercely. Salamina tries to mediate, but Mantuli storms off, declaring nothing can change Charlie, while Salamina looks back sadly. Back at the house, Tabo, Kwaito, and Braboyki confront each other in the kitchen. Tabo demands to know why Braboyki took the tender from Kat, accusing him of being useless. Braboyki deflects, but Tabo reveals they have a recording of him. After tense exchanges, Braboyki reluctantly agrees to something, and Tabo and Kwaito leave as Braboyki stares ominously at the camera. Meanwhile, Kat grapples with the escalating situation alone. When Braboyki calls, Kat anxiously scrolls through contacts, leaving a cryptic message for Francois to go to his dad if anything happens. Determined but unsure, he tells a waiter he's leaving, internally questioning his destination. The drama continues as Shay visits Paxton's dad. He lies about Paxton's whereabouts, and when Shay challenges him, he angrily chases her away. Later, Paxton confronts his dad about controlling his life, especially regarding Shay and his missing mother, leading to a heated argument where Paxton demands autonomy. Kat's confrontation with Braboyki reaches a boiling point when they meet. Braboyki shames Kat for failing to deliver, but Kat accuses him of favoritism. Ziad arrives and confronts Kat for stealing work, leading to Kat accusing Braboyki and Ziad of money laundering. Braboyki threatens legal action and demands Kat's phone, but Kat refuses. Security escorts a yelling Kat out as Braboyki vows to sue. After the Heritage Day event, Letetswe and his cousin return, excitedly sharing their cultural experiences with Salamina. She reveals that Charlie left after arguing with Manuti, and the cousin suggests cheering him up by recounting the event. Finally, in the kitchen, Kat urgently asks Clement for information on Bra Boyki to expose him, but Clement refuses, citing life threats. Kat persists, planning to give the info to Fumeza. Kwaito interrupts, urging Kat to drop the plan, but Kat insists on pursuing the truth despite risks. Kwaito hints they might all have to move to Joburg, leaving the future uncertain. That's all for today. Make sure to subscribe and I'll catch you in the next video.